Hello everyone, my name is Brady Laverio, and today I'm going to be discussing the issue of socioeconomic diversity in private colleges. So what is the problem? The United States has some of the most prestigious schools in the world: Harvard, Syracuse, and Stanford, just to name a few. However, recent studies have shown that within private schools like these, the majority of students are from the middle and upper income classes, with the lower class students, who haven't deserved the same opportunities as the wealthier classes, are just a small representation of the student body. A careful examination suggests that these private colleges are potentially dealing with a lack of socioeconomic diversity on their campuses. What are some causes for this potential lack of socioeconomic diversity? The most significant cause is a gradual yearly increase in the cost of attendance at these schools. For example, the total cost at SU jumped from about $57,000 in 2014 to 2015 to $61,242 in 2015 to 2016. But why did the cost of these schools jump up so quickly? Nicholas Mills, a professor of American Studies at Sarah Lawrence College, states that in 2003, only 2 colleges charged more than $40,000 a year for tuition, fees, room, and board. 6 years later, more than 200 colleges charged that amount. The economic recession that America went through in the mid-2000s certainly contributed to the significant cost increases at these schools, since budget cuts were likely being made to education in order to focus more on bailing out the banks and the auto industry. The increasing college costs not keeping pace with job salaries, student aid, and federal loans can really hurt the lower class, because they potentially will face a substantial debt that could take years to completely pay off and could affect important decisions these people make in their future. Another possible cause is that the aid that the federal government gives in the form of Pell Grants only covers a small amount of the cost for lower-class families. Daniel Fisher, a senior editor at Forbes magazine, wrote that the maximum grant today is $5,550, or about half the cost of a typical state university and a tenth of the cost of a prestigious private school. This past March, I conducted a survey of Syracuse students on social media. 43 students responded. There were 3 poll questions asked. What socioeconomic class would you consider yourself a part of? Are you at all worried about the debt you will face after graduating from Syracuse? And with the cost of $61,242, do you believe that the fees are too expensive? There's a follow-up response question for students to explain why they think the fees are or aren't expensive. It is possible that there is some error here, since it is only 43 students out of about 17,000 at the university, but I found that 85% of students were from the middle and upper classes, so there was not a very strong representation for the lower income class. 74.5% of students are at least slightly worried about the debt they will face out of college, and a resounding 90.7% of students think the cost is too expensive. Students responded stating things such as it excludes too many people, and they fear they could be paying back debt for a long time. What happens if nothing is done to solve the issue? Seeing how the cost of attendance continues to increase year after year, and it continues to not keep pace with job salaries and student aid, the lower class families over time could face a much tougher burden with the amount of debt they'll face, and it's possible that there will be little to no students at all from the lower class at private schools. You could see many lower class students end up enrolling at public schools or community colleges. How can this be solved? Daniel Fisher suggests that the schools should strip all identifying information from their applications, or an alternative would be to have a computer select from a pool of qualified applicants. This is not a bad idea, but if trying to help socioeconomic diversity in private schools, these policies could end up actually hurting. James C. Hearn and Kelly Oaks Rosinger, a professor and doctoral candidate respectively at the University of Georgia, have a better proposal. They suggest that federal aid be awarded on levels of Pell recipient enrollment, and institutions at low levels of this enrollment could face a significant reduction in aid. If a college is lacking in socioeconomic diversity, this would really help to bring in more lower-class students to help even out the distribution of social class. I believe that the best proposal, though, is for private colleges to award free tuition to students whose families make below a certain income amount. Schools like Stanford and Yale have begun doing this, and even though some critics have stated that it hasn't helped socioeconomic diversity, I think that over time it would definitely help increase lower-class student enrollment. Free tuition would make college much easier to afford for these students. In order to create socioeconomic diversity in these private schools, policy should be considered sooner than later, so that the American dream and the dream of opportunity isn't taken away from the lower class.
She know where to reject.